Rahmatullah. Dear students, welcome to today's presentation. Today's presentation will come from, and it's Unit 6, which is on philosophy. The unit question, why do people help each other? This is the topic of Unit 6, and what we study today will be connected to this. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the vocabulary skill, which is about phrasal verbs. And you will find this on page 135. So in today's video we will look at the following. The agenda will be, firstly, I will describe what phrasal verbs are. After this we will look at an example to see why they are important in the English language. And then we'll focus on the exact phrasal verbs we will need. Okay, they could be in the final exam, so it's important that we memorize all the key ones today. And finally, we will complete activities A and B on page 136. So please turn to page 135 and we will begin the presentation. So hopefully, like me, you are now on page 135 and you will see a vocabulary skill, phrasal verbs. So what is a phrasal verb? Okay, so let's read the first part. A phrasal verb is a combination of a verb and a particle. Particles are usually prepositions. They can be adverbs, but we won't need to get into that. So prepositions will be things such as up, on, in, down, and over, and off. When they are combined with a verb, however, they can change the meaning of the verb. So this is very important. So for example, a word like take would be completely different to take off. Okay, so take, like take my pen, you can borrow my pen. But the aeroplane took off means it ascended, went from land into the sky. So the word off has given the meaning a drastic change. Let's have a comparison. We can compare these pairs of sentences here. The scientist was finished with her research, so she ended the experiments. Okay, so we can see here the word in bold is ended, and there is no particle or preposition afterwards. But in our second example, we can see that we have a preposition after the same verb. He tried to help the old man find the address, but he ended up taking him home. So this little preposition here, up, has actually given a new meaning to this verb. Okay, so the meaning is different and therefore we would use it in a different situation. And we have Rakan and Ali like to watch soccer on the weekends. Okay, what does that mean? They like to look at it, right? They like to see it. And then we have here the preposition out. So with watch, we would say, watch out for that rock. It looks as if it's going to fall. So here the word out has been added to watch and given it a completely different meaning. Here it would be something like be careful. So let's break down our two verbs here. So the phrasal verb end up has a different meaning from the verb end. End means to finish. So I finished my exam, I ended my exam. End up, on the other hand, means to be in a situation after a series of events. So that means that some things have happened before the conclusion. So that's why it has a different meaning to just end. And then the second one, the phrasal verb watch out, again has a different meaning from just watch. Watch means to look carefully or with interest at something, like we like to watch football, right? Because it's interesting. So we would just say we watch football every weekend. Okay, so we maybe go to the park or we put on the TV. However, with watch out, it means to be careful or worried about something. So hopefully these two examples have made this very clear. Now I want to explain that phrasal verbs in the English language are very popular. And I would like to show you this with the verb get. So the word get, if I said to you, get my book, you would understand what you need to do. However, if we use any of these prepositions here, then you can see in these boxes how many different meanings we can have. So we have get across, get up, get through, get over, get out, get on, get off, get in, get down, or get down to, get by, get away, and get along. So you can see that we have many prepositions, and they can actually work with many of our verbs in English to give new meanings. So it is something that you should take seriously when you study. Okay, so I would just like to test you now to see if you know exactly what a phrasal verb is. So here we have two vortexes, and I'm just going to pick one of these little boxes up and drag it towards the middle, and I want you to tell me before I tell you if it's a regular verb, a normal verb, or a phrasal verb. So let's start with put off. Alright, so do you think this is an example of a phrasal verb or a regular verb? So the answer is phrasal verb because we have that particle. What about just put? There's no preposition, so this will be classed as a regular verb. What about find? Regular. Let. Regular. Let down. Phrasal verb. And find out. So we have preposition out, phrasal verb. Play. Regular. Reach. Yeah, regular. Take off, phrasal verb, and get at. Which one is that? Is that a regular verb? No, it's been rejected, so it's a phrasal verb. Good. So in the book there are 8 phrasal verbs that we need to memorize, and I have them here in this little table. So let's pick one and let's click on figure out. So look at the picture. What do you think figure out means? You've got a man thinking, and he has question marks. So it means like he's trying to find an answer to something. Help out. We can see here that the person in red needs some help. So we can say that the person in black here is assisting. So help out means to assist or to aid somebody. Set up. Set up. Here we have an experiment. We'd probably find one of these in a laboratory. Maybe a scientist would do this. So before he conducts an experiment, an analysis, he will set it up. So meaning like to prepare it. Call out. So if you were to call out in class, that would mean you would speak loudly to get someone's attention. We took this one already from our examples. So if we say watch out, then you need to take care or be aware of something. And likewise, end up. You can see here that the car is damaged and it's on the side of the road. So we could make a sentence like the car ended up on the side of the road due to a number of incidents. For example, we could say that the car collided and then skidded across the road. So that would be 2 incidences, or something similar to that. Grow out of, we can say here that to develop, basically. So we can see from a baby to a child to an adult. So growing out of different stages. And finally, point out. So to point would mean just to use your finger to look at something or to show something. But to point out would actually mean to make something clear that was not known to somebody before. So for example, I pointed out to you that the rule of the classroom is no eating. So there is a no eating rule. You didn't know this before. I pointed it out to you. So that means I informed you about something. And I would like you to be clear on this, so let's just have a little bit of practice. So we have in the box here, careful. Which one do you think would be the suitable answer here? watch out. So you said, watch out, be careful my friend, there is a hole in the ground. A car, there's damage, there's been a series of events before this car ended up here, so that's it, ended up. Okay, we have the man, he's pointing, he's trying to tell you something about this that you didn't know before, so point out. I want to point out to you that Medina has a new rule. What about this one? You're trying to solve something, get an answer, that means figure out. This one, we can see some stages here, seed, the shoot is coming out, it's developing with leaves, and now it's high, very tall, so to grow out of. You can also use this for clothes. You know, I grew out of my trousers, meaning they are too tight or too small now. The next one, all right, so 3 people are together. This one needs to be helped out. And then we have our experiment. What do we do before we conduct the experiment? We need to put all this together. So prepare it means to set it up. And finally, if you call out, then you speak loudly, looking to get somebody's attention. Okay, so we're now ready to go to the book, and we will look at page 136. All right, so here we will find our phrasal verbs, and now we need to match them with the explanations here from A to F. So let's match these. Number 1, set up. So from the reading you took before, if you did that, and from my pictures and explanation, which option do you think would be set up? We can say here D, to prepare something. Number 2, call out. To call out means F, to say something loudly or shout in order to attract attention. Figure out, number 3, to find an answer. 4, help out. So a synonym of help out is assist. Number 5, point out. A, and then finally grow out of is the remaining one, which is B. So those are the correct answers for activity A. And then part B, complete this short article with phrasal verbs from activity A. So those ones we took before, we need to be able to put them into these spaces to complete the text. So Dali and Latan, experiments with college. All right, so we'll stop there. So we looked at experiments before. Can you remember which one was suitable? Set up, right. So Dali and Latan set up experiments with college students to do what? Why no bystanders reacted to the murder of Catherine Genovese. The correct answer for number 2 is figure out, meaning to work it out to understand why. Their study, their research helped new information that they didn't expect. This one would be point out, so to show you something that you didn't know before. They discovered that the presence of more people at a scene makes people feel less responsible. The study also showed that people in groups don't react to a problem if nobody else acts or looks concerned. They assume that nothing is wrong even if they hear someone, so we're using our voice, someone call out for help, so i.e. speaking loudly. There have been other experiments since Dali and Latan's findings. Probably even more studies will grow out of, so develop from their research, because psychologists are very interested in knowing more about what other factors affect people's decisions to, we have one left, to help out those in need. Okay, so those are the answers. So thank you for being with me today. I hope that was comfortable. Again, if you have any problems or don't understand anything from today's presentation, please go to Oxford Online, where you'll find more practice with phrasal verbs. So thank you for being with me today, and see you next time.